Okay, so we're at the 119 material, Project J. We're going to talk about using software to do this over here. And again, my goal here is to get you guys to try to use Sage. And one thing I want to do with Sage, I just want to do what we're given for code, right? So remember, I use Sage often enough. It's in my dock. I'm going to launch it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a terminal application. Again, for students that are interested, you can also run it as a Jupyter Notebook interface. I actually prefer the command line. That's what I'm going to do. Again, if you want to go back over the prior projects to learn how to do a Jupyter, go back to the original project, the first project, which is Project A, and you'll learn how to do a Jupyter Notebook if you need that. Let me launch this. It's going to launch Sage for me from a terminal. This is running on my computer, by the way. Let me just see if I did that. Oh, yeah, there. I'm sorry. A little hiccup there. It actually launched it. There it is. All right, reset. Pretty easy to do. Clean slate. X is a variable. I want to point out in Sage, X already is a variable. But you should get used to defining your variables before using them. And I'm going to pull this up a little bit, or pull my screen down a little bit, whatever it's going to be. F of X, we've been doing this for some time, is equal to X to the fifth power minus 3 star X squared minus X plus 1. Hit return. I want to do FP, and FP is I'm storing, it's a storage thing. I'm going to assign it a plot. And the plot I'm going to assign it is F of X, and that's Y equals F of X, and then X minimum is equal to minus 2, and you can play around with this too. X maximum is equal to 2. Y minimum, I'll put this down over here for you, Y min is equal to minus 3. Remember, if I make a mistake, it's not going to blow up. I got it. And I want to show it now. So fp.show. And it's going to launch a viewer, and now I see the polynomial. It's a fifth degree polynomial. I'm seeing approximately where the roots are, by the way. All right, approximately where the roots are. And that's important. If I know the roots are, for example, I know there's a root approximately near the 0.5. I know there's a root, around 1.5. I know another root over here, I'm going to say about minus 0.7, all right? So what I want to do is talk about, what you could do is you could try to, factor f of x to find the exact roots, all right? So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to see what happens. Let me clear the screen, by the way. By the way, clearing the screen does not get rid of the information that I've stored. For example, f of x is still f of x. I want to try to factor f of x, though. Let me type it in first, though. Factor. I want to see if I can factor f of x. But I couldn't factor it, all right? So it just gives it back to me. It's not factorable over the integers, right? So what I want to do is I want to solve, S-O-L-V-E, and I want to see if I can actually get Sage to solve this and tell me what the roots are. And there should be 5 of them, by the way. So this is an equation. I want to use a double equal sign, and I want to solve for x. Sage is working. Give it up. It couldn't do it either. Just couldn't do it. All right, can't do it, right? Fifth degree polynomial is incredibly difficult to solve, by the way. But anyway, just spits back the original problem. So what I want to talk about is these commands over here. And before I do that, though, I want to go back to my PDF viewer. And I want to point out, and again, I'll type this in a second, by the way. It says find the root of the function right over here. This is, the function equals 0. That's the root of it. And between minus 1 and 0. Now, what are they doing? They're giving a band here. They want to find the root here. They want to find that. And what's it going to be? Well, according to them, it's minus 0.71, about. All right. What's the other one going to be between 0 and 1? Well, that's this root over here. This is between 0 and 1. What's the other root between 1 and 2? All right. Now, someone says, do you need to know the bounds of it? You do. You just can't say find root. You got to say where the root is, or approximately where the root is. Right. What I'm going to do over here is I'm going to do something which I don't recommend you do, but I realize some students are just really tired sometimes and they can't type. So I'm doing a copy paste. Oops, sorry about that. And let me just paste that in. I just did a copy paste, hit return. All right, Sage is working, got it. And what I want to do is I want to change these numbers. I want to retype that in, and I'm going to change it between 0 and 1 now. right? I'm getting the same numbers I get over here. And if I want to go between 1 and 2, hit the up arrow and then use your cursor to edit this over here. And I'm just using my cursor to do that. All I'm doing. And that's going to be 1.47. All right? Not a bad way. Okay, let's talk about the next thing up, which is called a local maximum. All right? So what's the local maximum? We're looking at there's a local maximum here, and there's a local minimum over here. All right? Now, kind of looking at it, I want to try to make sense out of these numbers over here. And we've used this command before. And what do I notice over here? The local maximum is between -1 and 0. I definitely see that. That's a command over there. And I'll be honest with you, the way they're giving me these numbers over here, it seems kind of strange to me. But they're saying the maximum value of that is 1.0 something. And I'm seeing that. It's 1 point something here. All right? What else do I know? It occurs, the x value is about -1.66. And that's right about here. All right? And if you do find local minimum, well, the local minimum's over here. And I'm going to say the local minimum is somewhere between 0 and 2. Right? I'm really kind of making a big range on that one over there. And the local minimum is about -2 point something, and I see that being reported here. All right? And it occurs on the x value about 1.1, so right about over here. All right, let me just copy these in, paste it. Whoops. And I want to point out, I'm getting the same information, not much different. Let me see if there's any of the commands. Copy paste is not a bad idea. I just think you should learn to type. All right. Oh, they give a nice picture of it too, picture that we got before. All right. Approximate the roots. Yeah, not a bad idea. All right. So we did that. I think we completed that out. All right. So that's done. All right. That's nice to have a tool like that. All right. Thank you so much for paying attention.